I'm a useless fucking chud that does nothing with his life and who sits there and just reviews mock drafts like it's religious. And I'm just sitting here doing nothing. And it's 11 o'clock at night, and I'm sitting here being like, oh, let's look at a mock draft. So that's what I'm going to do today. The Demons won. So I'm going to be reviewing Charles Davis 2026 mock draft. 2.1 Cardinals, Seahawks select Notre Dame running back in first round. I have a good feeling that's going to be Jadarian Price. I'm not even going to lie, because there's no way they trade up to like top 10. There's no shot. Charles Davis is a media analyst. He was just at the combine. I'm not really familiar with his mock drafts, but I do think I've reviewed some of it on the channel, and or maybe one time, or I've seen it off camera when I was just like browsing around, just looking at different people's mock drafts. And yeah, I'm not the biggest hater of him at all. I definitely think there's worse. The Raiders take Fernando Mendoza out of Las Vegas. Well, to Las Vegas out of Indiana. I always do this shit, man, where I keep on fucking messing up. They take Fernando Mendoza regardless. Mendoza has a great frame, 6'5", 230, 225 range. He's so good. He's really just a passionate football player, and you can tell he loves what he does. And it's not just because of an act. Sure, it might be a little exaggerated at times, but like at the same time, like I just think that's who he is. And people say it's exaggerated. I think it can be exaggerated, but genuinely, I think he just genuinely just loves ball. And that's the type of guy you want. You're leading your team, and he's definitely going to be a great quarterback in the NFL. Not only because he just has the physical tools to be. His arm strength isn't the best. Let's get the negatives out of the way first. His arm strength isn't the best, but his real like leadership IQ, his idea of actually making a great play, clutch play after clutch play. You've seen it throughout the entire year. He's been in clutch play positions and converted every single time because they didn't fucking lose. So like at one point you have to realize like, okay, yeah, this guy maybe has like the it factor. And you're not taking number one overall to be an average quarterback, taking number one overall to be the best quarterback, but I think his floor is probably a below average quarterback. And honestly, if you put the right team around him, you've seen below average quarterbacks lead teams to like championships. Grossman didn't win one, but he led one. Jimmy Garoppolo, like these below average / backup quarterbacks can do it. And I'm not saying Fernando Mendoza will be a backup quarterback. I'm saying that like that's literally his like the lowest he can go, like being a Jimmy Garoppolo type player. Which again has Jimmy Garoppolo has went to a Super Bowl. Like at one point, like behind one of the greatest defenses, but behind like at one point you have to be like, okay, maybe Fernando Mendoza is the right pick here. I know people aren't really disputing that, but definitely think the Raiders get their guy here. It's pretty much an easy pick here. I just spent 2 minutes talking about Fernando Mendoza, but it is what it is. The Jets take David Bailey out of Texas Tech. Another easy option, not easy, but there's a lot of different areas you can go here. I've seen people take Arbor Reese. I've seen people take Bain. I think Bain has stopped going number 2 overall mainly because of the fit, and also his arms are very short. He has quote unquote alligator arms, so that's gonna be a big problem. But David Bailey has great speed rush, explosiveness, just really good off the break, and will be great great pass rusher for this team that really needs edge. There's problems with his rush stopping, but I think you can definitely look past that, I guess, if your pass rushing is just so fucking good and so dominant like he is. So that's probably why he's getting like second pick buzz. Cardinals take Jeremiah Love. I think this is a little redundant, or not redundant, a little like luxurious for this team's needs. I think this team needs a tackle, or maybe you can justify Sonny Styles, but like this is honestly just like a little bit of a reach for me. I think that Jeremiah Love is probably a top 3 player in this class, maybe top 5 for me, but it's just the problem is he plays running back on a team that'll like ruin his career if he goes to like a team like the Cardinals who have no real offensive tackle depth or just offensive line depth in general. So that's really gonna suck. But I guess James Conner is coming off an injury. I mean, like it's doable. Like I definitely can see it happen. It's just not what I would do. Titans take I can't see the cats in the way. Alvaro Reese out of Tennessee, or to Tennessee out of Ohio State. Alvaro Reese has so much upside. He can play off ball or the edge. He's probably gonna get page edge money, but he probably can play both. Like honestly, this guy's really fucking good, and I think that you can see it like through the tape. Like I'm really high on Alvaro Reese. He's just so good. He ran really good at the combine, and he was really just great. Like he was just fucking great. Like honestly, yeah. It's not like much to be just like to be disputed here at all either. I think Alvaro Reese is probably like, if I had to choose right now off the Jets, like if I was the Jets on the clock, Mendoza's off the board, I'm taking Alvaro Reese because of his upside and just how well he played. And I know you could definitely take Sonny Styles and maybe trade back, but honestly, I just love Alvaro Reese as a prospect so much to the point where I'm like, okay, maybe maybe I just take Albert Reese here. I just really like him more than some of these other guys. I think he has more upside than David Bailey. I don't hate that idea for the Titans to get the best player available. And Robert Saleh has a good track record of developing these edges. And Robert Saleh was playing with plumbers, and he literally led that team to the divisional round. Like, that's how good that's how good of a defensive coordinator he is. And the Jets, honestly, other than the first rebuilding year, he had top 10 defenses. Like, I don't know why. I never understood why he got fired as like a secondhand Jets fan. Like, at one point you have to realize, like, maybe it's not the head coach, and scapegoating the head coach is not good. Like, in some scenarios, like, that just makes the most sense. But definitely I think you can have gone here. Giants take Sonny Styles out of Ohio State. I've honestly loved and grown towards this pick. As a Giants fan, I'm like, yeah, this is crazy. Like, he tested so good at the combine, above average in every single metric, so fluid with his combine drills. He just really rose his stock. Before, he was getting like 20 to like 11 buzz. Like, that's what he was gonna go. But before, now he's getting like top 5 buzz. Like, that's crazy to me, because you don't really see off-ball linebackers besides Devin White from LSU get picked this high since in 2019. That's really, really crazy to think that Sonny Styles is like going to be this much performance, but not really at the same time, because I've been saying this guy's a fucking dog, and he's gonna be so good for whatever team takes him, because he's such a sound and crisp prospect that teams will probably reach for him because of his positional value, and will take the physicals, the smartness, the upside of his pass coverage, of being a former safety, and just how big and how large he is for his position. Like, he runs so quickly for being however big he is. I think he's like 240, 245. He runs gigantically quick. Like, it's kind of scary. Like, it's like people are developing, man. This guy's superhuman. Like, I don't know what the fuck this guy's like. I don't know what's going on in his household, but like, goddamn, this guy's good. Like, you just gotta take the value when you get him. And the Giants need a linebacker too, because they just cut Bobby O, and McFadden's hitting free agency, and you don't know what's gonna happen with him. So would love Sonny Styles here. Bobby O, may he go find a better team and probably perform there a little better, but Sonny Styles goes to the Giants. Browns take Carnell. I like this too. I think Carnell is such a great Z receiver. I would honestly prefer a little bit more of a tackle here. I love Monroe Freeling. He's a blindside blocker and would be so great for this team that needs it. But you could definitely go Carnell here. I just prefer Monroe Freeling because he's just the prototypical type left tackle that you would really want, and you would just love him there. But Carnell Tate, you need wide receiver here. It's not the worst idea in the world. I wouldn't hate this pick at all either. Commanders take Ruben Bain Jr. Another interesting pick. I think Ruben Bain is just another like guy who's falling in love because of his arms, but he really needs he doesn't need anything. He can't really change the arm production. It's just the problem is his bend sometimes, and his ankle mobility off the end when he goes when he swims around and does maybe a speed rush. Like, that's a little bit of an issue. But other than that, like, honestly, he's a really sound prospect, and probably the best 3-down lineman you can take in the top 10 here, because he's just produced at whenever and wherever he's played and performed. Like, it's been really good, and I think he can do a good job. It's honestly a Dan Quinn type pick. I think he will be pretty good under this regime. The Saints take Mansour Delane out of LSU, keeping him in Louisiana. And that's going to be an interesting area to see where they go with this. Definitely think Delane can go higher. I'm really high on Delane too. I think he's a top 10 player in this class for me. He's a little undersized, but the tape is damn good. And even if he's undersized, you've seen these undersized corners be pretty good in the NFL. Definitely can see him going here. Great hand placement, great at drawing the ball loose, great at the coverage, just great at everything. It's just his arm length and his just overall size is a little low, but I wouldn't really worry about that so much. I know teams really do, but honestly, if the production's there, I think take it. That's why I'm so high on Ruben Bain too, because the production's there. Why don't you fucking get it? Like at 7, that's not a bad pick for Ruben Bain. It's like he was getting mocked 2 earlier, but now he's 7. But that's the thing though. This arm length is so crucial, but at one point you gotta say oh, okay, this guy was a fucking monster in college, so I don't know, just get him here. Like that pick a lot. The Chiefs take Francis Mauigoa out of Kansas City, or out of Miami. Kansas City gets their offensive tackle. They just let go of Luan, so that's going to be an interesting area to be filled. I think Francis Mauigoa has real offensive tackle ability. People were saying moving to guard. I think he can definitely play tackle. It's pretty solid. I think he also has a pretty high floor for how he is. He does have he does have the versatility to move into guard, but honestly, I think that he will be able to play tackle because Jawan Taylor is gone. So that's going to be a real area of interest. I think it will be pretty good for this team in a few offensive tackle and protect Patrick Mahomes after his ACL injury. Not the worst idea in the world. The Bengals take Caleb Downs. I honestly really like this mock draft so far. I think Caleb Downs, other than the Jeremiah Love pick, which seems a little impulsive, it's honestly not been that bad. I think Caleb Downs, keeping him in state as well, will be really good. This guy's such a high floor. He's so great at tackling. This class is a bunch of high floor players, and Caleb Downs is already, like, I feel like he already has a Pro Bowl type level to him. He's also very smart. There is concerns with his meniscus and his knee or whatever. Something's wrong there. I don't really care about that, and I don't think that's like 100% true. I think like people are like either making up rumors or like it's like over exaggerated. There's probably like a degenerative like knee or ACL. Like I don't really mind that much. If it's not been an issue in college, I don't think it'd be that big of an issue in the NFL. So why don't you take the talent when you can? Not the worst idea in the world. Dolphins take Jamad McCoy. Definitely an interesting area to pick. This is definitely like a Jeff Hafley type pick where it's like a big corner who likes him, who like has great testing ability and really good cornerback play in 2024. But again, he did tear his ACL, so that's gonna be a big problem. He also didn't play and work out at the combine, and especially when he was healthy, because an ACL injury should, like, I don't care who you are, like an ACL injury shouldn't take like a year and some change. It should take like 9 to 12 months. I feel like that he would definitely be he would definitely be concerning with the Tennessee. People say like Tennessee's corner system / defense is very cornerback friendly, so cornerbacks numbers and stuff are inflated because that cornerback system is very good. I can also see that too because you saw Colton Hood develop that, but at the same time, like, again, production is production. Like even if the scheme's good, like what if he goes to Miami and has a good scheme there with Jeff Hafley? Like at that point, like you're just like taking away from the player from fitting into a scheme. Like I just don't think that's really like fair for someone. So like that's just my take on that. But I wouldn't really like worry too much about the ACL tear because ACLs are a lot more advanced. Like the rehabs and like the just like the overall insight on it is just so much more better than it was like as opposed to 10 years ago. So I think this is honestly a better pick than some people might want to suggest, but I definitely can see him falling because of his ACL injury and his concern about if he like actually has competitive nature in himself because he did sit out for the rest of the season and not test. Dallas Cowboys take Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. I see no role where Emmanuel McNeil-Warren goes over Dylan Thielen now, and honestly, if you do that, I really like I will find you a loser if you do that. Loser of the draft. I think Thielen played so well, but McNeil-Warren did not test that well. You're not taking him for his testing ability. He's so smart. He's so big. He hits a lot. He's very strong. He honestly is a great prospect. I think I like Thielen a little bit more, but McNeil-Warren has been a great player for Toledo, and I think I can see him as a first-round talent. It's just I think I prefer Thielen a little bit more for this team, and I think McNeil-Warren is also pretty good. Don't hate this pick at all, but I definitely would prefer Thielen in my personal opinion. The Rams take Mekhi Lemon. Honestly, this is honestly a solid rock draft. This is honestly what I've thought about doing. Like, this is pretty similar picks. Like, even if it's not like the same player, it's like same position group. Honestly, really good. The Rams take Mekhi Lemon. Definitely a slot type of player. With Devontae Adams in this system, you could probably worry about him moving to the Z later on in his career. But definitely has interesting personality. He's more like, he kind of seems like nonchalant, but like it's like the the interviews and like the combine interviews and stuff and like the actual NFL interviews, people said he bombed, and I can see that, but like I wouldn't really like take their word for it. Like I don't know, that it's like the story, like it's like the joke saying like source, trust me, bro. Like I don't know, like I obviously we saw the combine interviews, like that was tough, but I one point I had to say like he was pretty good on the field. There was no real issues at USC. No one really had anything bitchy to complain about him. His coaches loved him. Like at one point to be like, okay, maybe he's just an oddball, but like you're not like hanging out with this guy, right? You're just watching him play football. Like at one point to be like, okay, whatever, who the fuck cares how he is outside of fucking the field, as long as he's not getting DUIs, hitting his girlfriend, or murdering people. I'm sure, like other players do. Why do we really care? I don't care if he's like looking at you like this while you're talking or while you're practicing. Like, bro, if he does good and keeps quiet and just does nothing, which is what he said he's been doing at USC, what's the point in getting super upset at it? So that's my take on it. I think this would be a perfect schematic fit for the Rams. The Ravens take Spencer Fano. I fucking love this too. This has been an awesome mock draft so far. I love Spencer Fano going to the Ravens. You can put him at guard. He'll probably play guard. He moved his arms really. His arms were very short. 32 and a half or 32 and an eighth. I thought it was 32 and a fourth. Interesting. 32 and an eighth. I mean, it's a little concerning, but at one point, like, he's probably not gonna play tackle. He's probably gonna play guard. And Falele, they need a guard, so Falele's gone. Hitting free agency, and center Tyler Linderbaum. And I don't think he'll be playing center. I think center was just like he's gonna be very versatile. He maybe can't play center if push comes to shove, like if everybody's injured. But I think primarily be playing guard and maybe a swing tackle role. But honestly, you're taking him for his versatility, and he performed really well at Utah this year. So take the guy when you can. The Bucks take Cassius Howell. It's honestly another Buccaneers pick. Like, I can definitely see this happening. I just don't think like I don't think like people would take a chance on him with his arm length, because teams value that a lot, believe it or not. So that's gonna be a real issue. But he did have some good speed rushing ability, but he's definitely more of a DPR than anything. Like, he's closer to DPR than he is a 3-down lineman. So that's gonna be a real issue. And his bag is a little concerning sometimes for me too. But Todd Bowles, like you said, Todd Bowles is, if like Todd Bowles doesn't care how big you are, if you can get to the quarterback, you get to the quarterback, and that's a big thing for Todd Bowles. So I wouldn't mind this, but I think there's better options for them, like Kenny Sadiq, because Kate On's hitting free agency, and Kenny Sadiq tore it up. He literally tore it up. So that's an interesting area. The Jets take Jordan Tyson. I've also been mocking Jordan Tyson to the Jets too. I think the Jets would love Jordan Tyson. The problem is his injury concern. But honestly, I think we're all overrating it a little bit. I think obviously there's a bunch of lingering issues. There's an ACL injury, which honestly I don't really mind that much, because ACLs happen all the time, and players bounce back, especially if they're young players like someone like Jordan Tyson, who's not 25 yet. But at one point, like, you have to realize, like, okay, like, it's a bunch of different injuries. Like, that's going to be really concerning. That can have him dropping a lot. But he's so acrobatic. He's so good. He doesn't have elite top end speed, but he's so good at his separation. He's so good at the catch point. He's so good at contorting his body, making these acrobatic catches. He's just a solid prospect when he's healthy and available. And if he's there 60% of the time, and you have a wide receiver one next to Garrett Wilson, like 2 wide receiver ones, like, at one point you're gonna be like, okay, production's production. Like, maybe the quarterback or whoever's throwing the ball, maybe the running back. I don't know why I say whoever's throwing the ball. Obviously the quarterback's throwing the ball, but like, at one point you have to be like, okay, yeah, like that guy is like, he's good, and even if they're 60% of the time, like, he's good when he's there 60% of the time. It'd be different if he was like producing like a wide receiver 3 when he's there 60% of the time, because that's inconsistent and illogical, and you just need to get him out of there. But if he's producing like an all-pro type talent when he's there next to Garrett Wilson, who's already an all-pro type talent himself, like, you gotta be like, okay, maybe we cut our losses, keep on doing Jordan Tyson, and if he works out, he works out. If he doesn't, we can just easily replace him. Well, not easily, but we can just replace him later down the line. Wouldn't hate that pick at all. Lions take Akeem Mesidor. I've also seen a lot of people go for Akeem Mesidor here. I think I like Akeem Mesidor here as well. I think Akeem Mesidor is a great pass rusher. Definitely has like flexibility moving the interior. I would probably say you would like him to play on the edge next to Aiden Hutchinson, but definitely can see him moving in the interior if you can. A little more concerned with his pass. Not concerned with his pass rushing, but I'm concerned with his run stopping, which does need a little bit more refinement. But I think next to Aiden Hutchinson, it wouldn't be a bad area. And this team lacked pressure. And Al Muhammad, I think that's his name, he's hitting free agency, so that's gonna be a replacement for him. The Vikings take Dylan Thielen. Honestly, yeah, if Dylan Thielen's here, this is the easy pick for me. Other than maybe Vega Ione or Caleb Banks, or Peter Woods, like, this is honestly just the best pick for me. Like, Thielen is just that guy. I don't know. Like, I was sold on him. During the combine. I was watching his drills. He ran fucking fast. He was just so good. And I know that the combine doesn't it doesn't like make or break your draft stock most of the times, unless you like really fucking bomb it. But like, you gotta realize, like, okay, Dylan Thielen is like, he like, I already had like my eye on him before, and then I started watching his tape, and then I watched his combine, and I was like, fuck yeah, this guy's good. And he has so much turnover prone ability, which people don't really talk about that much. He had 6 interceptions at Purdue. I know that's Purdue like a couple years ago, but like, he's a big thumper. Like, you're taking him for his run stopping ability and his idea to have straight line speed to get down to the running back or like receiver. But at the same time, like, he also has like the ability to jump a ball because of his straight line speed is so good. Like, that's just what he is, and that's why he has such a good 40 time, because his speed was so good. Acceleration and speed was so good, to the point where like, I was like, okay, yeah, this guy might be really good for his team that really needs defensive backup. And the Vikings, this is a match made in heaven for them, because Harrison Smith's getting old, and this can be your new white boy safety. White guys unite. The Panthers go Caleb Banks. Banks gives him a good nose tackle for them, because they do run a nose tackle area. Similar. ESPN has him as a Derek Brown as a defensive end. I think he's more of a defensive tackle, so it'd be a good pairing to Caleb Banks, who'd be really good. I definitely can see Kenyon Sadiq go here. I really like Kenyon Sadiq. I think he is just athletic freak, and I knew it before. He's a top 10 player in the class for me. He's just so fucking good, and his measurables and everything about him is just so good. other than his blocking. But honestly, you can really pass that up because his pass catching, his home run threat ability, and just his overall like athleticism is just so fucking smooth. And it's just a little bit better for me than Caleb Banks. But I do like Caleb Banks here because you get defensive tackle unit and more pass rush and a bunch of upside as long with it. So there's worse options. The Cowboys got Colton Hood. Yeah. For how the board's fallen, yeah, they need a corner one, and Colton Hood did not have a great Senior Bowl, which had him dropping a lot in different people's mock drafts. But like one time, you have to realize, like, okay, yeah, he's like really good at Tennessee, and that can maybe go to the schematic fit. But at the same time, like, okay, again, production is production. Like, my guy, like, whatever. Like, that's good. Like, I think Colton Hood has he has good. He doesn't have elite acceleration or speed, but he has pretty good speed, pretty good hands, pretty good tackle at the start of the game. That gets a little concerning towards the end. Like, he's just an overall solid prospect. I think that the Cowboys need a cornerback once, so you're going to have to reach eventually. I would like Avon Trell a little bit more, but Avon Trell didn't test so good at the combine. Colton Hood had a better combine, so there's a lot of moving parts to this, but I definitely can see Colton Hood going here, and it's cool to see him go here. Boston going to the Steelers. It's going to be an interesting area to see where he falls. So he is like really like what the Pittsburgh Steelers love, which is like the jump ball, prototypical type X receiver. George Pickens, DK Metcalf, obviously like those type of guys. Even Antonio Brown to an extent was like that, but like Antonio Brown's a little more shifty and a little more smaller. But they traded for DK Metcalf. They picked George Pickens before they traded away him. But like at the same time, you have to be like, okay, yeah, like Denzel Boston just kind of fits like the Steelers like mindset of like this big receiver, and he'll be a good jump ball guy. I think he'll be good whatever area he goes to. He just needs a little more refinement, and his separation isn't the best, but he still get the catch, but he moves so fluid. Like, honestly, I think that he like people like are being a little too harsh on him. Yes, I do. I like he does scream like very athletic, like athletic dependent. But like if you're 6'4", 210 as a receiver, like at one point like your athleticism bails you every once in a while. So like if you keep on refining your technique, like maybe you can definitely see him going this high because he's just purely like you can't teach his size. And I think that would be pretty good for this team that needs another receiving option. And this team's kind of in a win now mode with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they're going to try to develop Will Howard. Like, that's an interesting area. Or to take one of the next quarterbacks that are generational in the next draft class. Next draft class is going to be like this year's NBA draft class, which is just a fucking bunch of blue chip prospects just keep on coming out of the wazoo. But like maybe you take a quarterback there and just build your bones and wide receivers now. Like, I wouldn't hate that idea. Chargers take Vega Ione, another high floor pick. Like, this is just another easy pick. Like, just get your guy here. They release Mekhi Becton. You're gonna need a replacement for Mekhi Becton. Get the motherfucker you can. And this guy, if you false him, it should be like that where you pick him up. Like, it should be that instant. Like that's the point. Like that's how good he is. Like I'm really high on him too. I think he's the top 10 player in my class as well. He's really good. The Eagles take Kenyon Sadiq. I've had this in my previous mock draft. I definitely can see them doing this with Dallas Goedert in free agency. And Kenyon Sadiq, obviously there's concerns with his catching. I'm not as concerned with his catching as other people are. I think his catching is good if you watch the tape. But there's a lot of athleticism to him. He has crazy speed. I think he ran a 4.39, which is the second best tight end in history, only behind Vernon Davis by 0.01. And that's going to be a real interesting area to talk about because he's just so fast. I knew this from the Oregon. Like, he took a house call to in one of those games, Oregon games. I was like, yeah, this guy's pretty good. And then I saw him like going high point on the catch against, I think it was Indiana or I don't know, it was another team. Or maybe Penn State. It was really cool. Like, honestly, I had a blast watching him, his film, and just his games in general. Like, I just think that he's just going to be such a sound prospect. I think people should start definitely pushing him up his board because he's just so athletic, and you don't see these type of athletic freaks in a hot minute. But definitely can see him going here. The Browns go Blake Miller. They get their offensive tackle of the future. Yep, I wouldn't hate this pick either. He does not have Monroe Feeling before Blake Miller. I would have liked Monroe Feeling here a little bit more. I feel like Monroe Feeling is just so gigantic. I know there's concerns with how much experience he has, but like at the same time, like he just has the frame for it. I think Blake Miller's a little shorter and I think a little more light, like 5 or 6 pounds, which isn't like it's marginal, but like those type of things matter to me for an offensive tackle because this is not just some regular guy. This is the guy who's going to be like, other than quarterback, is the most expensive or most important position in football. And if you like kind of cheap shot it and take like the guy you think like plays better but doesn't have like the length or anything and it ends up being a bust, like that's gonna be an interesting area to take him. But it's also vice versa too. Like you can take like the guy who has a prototypical like frame. The perfect example is Evan Neal. That guy was a fucking unit in Alabama, produced in Alabama the entire time. Kind of reminds me of Kenny Proctor. Produced the time in Alabama. He's a unit. He can't teach the size. The technique was abysmal, and the Giants are terrible at developing these type of guys. So at one point you have to be like, okay, yeah, so this guy is not good, and you have to move on. That's the things with the offensive tackles. So maybe you take the smaller guy maybe you think has more upside. But yeah, it's interesting pick here. I don't like this at all. The Bears go Lee Hunter. I don't hate this. I think Peter Woods is a first round player to me. I think Peter Woods, if he falls to the Bears, would be amazing. Or Jacob Rodriguez, because Tremaine Edmonds just got released, and that's gonna be another interesting area to talk about. Because you're gonna probably need a linebacker. I think Jacob Rodriguez is a round one talent. I don't know why people aren't mocking him in the first round. I would definitely do it. The problem is I got Jacob Rodriguez is older, and Lee Hunter is really good at defensive tackle. So it's more of a need than BPA. But at the same time, okay, you're gonna need a linebacker anyways. You just released Edmonds. What's the point of taking Lee Hunter? You can take a defensive tackle in a stacked defensive tackle class anyways. Maybe take Christian Miller. Trade up and take Christian Miller or something, or Big Citrus, or somebody else. And I think that this defensive tackle class, has a big drop off. But in the second round, you get someone who's as good, and maybe take a safety in the later round, because the safety class isn't as bad as some people think. I don't know. I just think that's better than taking a breach on Lee Hunter, who had a really abysmal combine, and really rose to stock purely because of the Senior Bowl. So that's gonna be an interesting area to think about it. But yeah, interesting pick. Bills take Omar Cooper Jr. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that he did not know about the DJ Moore trade. So we're not talking about this, but we're gonna talk about potential areas they can go now. Jacob Rodriguez definitely in play. CJ Allen definitely in play. An edge definitely in play. In this case, would be TJ Parker. With some other edges available, Zion Young would definitely be in play. Another safety would be in play, maybe later. Maybe you could take AJ Halsey in the second round. We'll actually trade away your fucking picks if you can't do that anymore. So the Bears trade away their second round picks. So the Bears can take someone like AJ Halsey in the second round, or Lee Hunter in the second round. I don't know. I just feel like that would make a little more sense. But anyways, the Bills, yeah. So you definitely take a edge here, or a linebacker. Maybe take Jacob Rodriguez. You maybe not see that type of guy ever again. Or again, TJ Parker, who's pretty solid on everything he does, and definitely has upside to be a 3-down lineman. So a lot of issues there, or a lot of things to get clear there. But I'm not gonna harp on him for this, because this is probably made before the DJ Moore trade. 49ers take Monroe Freeling. I think if you could if you can find a way to get him and develop him behind Trent Williams, he's gonna be a fucking beast. He's a blindside blocker. One of the most important positions in football. He's going to be a big part of this team if he eventually develops in the right way. So good off the get off. Pretty good hand placement. Definitely a little bit concerning with his footwork and his experience, but has just the best frame in the draft. It's just so good. He's 315, 6'7". That's just you can't teach that shit, man. And I'm proud. I'm really high on him. I think he's my tackle number 2 in the class. It's just so fucking good. I have Fana going to guard, so if Fana was a tackle and measured a little bit better, I would have him number 2. But Maui Noah is number 1. Monroe Freeling is number 2 for me. I just love his game. I don't know. I've just seen the film. I just love it. Texans go Caleb Lomu. Not the worst idea ever either, because Caleb Lomu is been more of a swing tackle, but I think he will definitely play guard because he did not measure that well in the combine. Average arms, maybe slightly below average. So there's going to be a lot of interesting areas there, but I think he definitely play guard or tackle, especially with Tyus Howard going. So yeah, I don't hate this pick at all. I think you can play my guard probably, and then swing tackle if anything goes wrong. Pretty simple pick. Chiefs take Casey Concepcion. I like this too. It seems kind of redundant because you already have these speedy type receivers, but the Chiefs have historically come back to this, and this is from the Rams McDuffie trade, like he says. Yeah, so I think that in totality, this would be kind of a redundant pick, but at the same time, he's just so good. I'm so high on him. He has great separation for off the press for being so small for his frame. He's not sneaky fast. He's fast. He's fucking fast. He doesn't have as good long speed as I hope he tested for. I don't think he ran the 40, but it didn't look like his long speed was that good. But his gauntlet was really good of catching the balls. And for someone who has hand dropping issues, his gauntlet was kind of relieving because I was like, okay, yeah, maybe he wasn't as bad as people thought. So yeah, I really like him. And people who are making fun of his stutter, I always say this: people who are making fun of his stutter, fuck off. I hate you. You deserve nothing. And if you stutter, you're fine, bro. Honestly, but if you think that this is a bad pick for the Chiefs and a redundant pick, I can definitely see that. But I just think that they've historically done this, and they're probably going to continue doing this, so I wouldn't hate this pick at all. The Broncos take CJ Allen. They need a linebacker. Alex Singleton sitting free agency. It looks more and more like that he's not going to resign. You can obviously go in defensive tackle. Peter Woods is fucking available. I think I would love Peter Woods here, but he doesn't go here, so CJ Allen goes here. I think CJ Allen is more of a day 2 player for me. I'm not as high on him as other people are. I think he's a little concerning with his pass coverage game on these smaller type receivers or running backs, which gets a little concerning because if you're going to step in to be a linebacker replacing someone like Alex Singleton, it's going to be a lot of things. But definitely there will be a good bunch of rushing, stopping upside, which this team is really good at the pass rushing game anyway. So maybe you don't have to worry about the crazy long pass coverage game. Definitely can see a defensive tackle here. Peter Woods would be amazing with John Franklin Myers leaving, but not the worst idea in the world. The Patriots take Keenan Proctor. I would assume you're taking him into guard. The Patriots also would like this too. Campbell was playing a tackle for the foreseeable future, so taking a guard here next to Campbell, or even on the right side next to Moses, would not be the worst idea in the world. And finally, the Seahawks take Jadarian Price. I think that he did not test enough to the point where this is warranted. I definitely can see him going 64. 32 is a little issue, but there's definitely more needs for this team than a running back. I know Kenneth Walker's saying free agency Zach Charbonnet, but at the same time, you can take like someone like Emmett Johnson, 64, if Jadarian Price doesn't make it, or sign a better running back in free agency if that ends up happening. But I would definitely take Avion Terrell here. Avion Terrell is definitely in play. Play nickel if you can, because you might be losing Job, your nickel. So Avion Terrell is smaller. You can play him there, or you can play on the boundary too, regardless, wherever. Or if they lose Woolen and keep Job, that's going to be another interesting area. Or if they lose Kobe Bryant, you can take a safety in the later rounds. But that's it. Thank you all for letting me know. Thank you all for watching. Not letting me know. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you guys think of this mock draft. Let me know what you guys think in general. Love you guys. See you guys in the next video. Peace.